Testing, testing. Hello, everybody. Hello, 1,000 speakers. Today I'm going to give you a little bit of a cool free training. I'm going to have a little bit of an offer for you at the end. But first, I want to be crystal clear on some housekeeping. So far, this group has been really great for people not dropping links, not being spammy. But in the last few days, I've had a couple of people who just jump in and instantly plug something. I will kick your ass out of the group. Let's be crystal clear on that. At my discretion, I will boot you, block you, you'll never come in again. Do not jump in and drop links. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club. The second rule is don't drop your links in my group. Hope we're clear. Don't do it. I have no problem throwing you out in the cold because you gotta know that a meaningful, valuable group is a group where people cannot be inundated by random links for jobs and somebody's book that they're trying to promote without asking me. Now, that having been said, one of the members a while back was doing a book launch and she came to me and she asked me very nicely, could she talk about her book launch in the group? Since she asked me, I let her. See how that works? Pretty straightforward, right? Cool. Beth Nidick and Patrick Kirby, welcome both of you. Patrick, my friend, I hope that recommendation I made to you the other night was valuable. We won't go into specifics here, but I hope that you hit it off with the person I connected you with. Now then, what is the best way to structure your signature talk? How many of you here know about the hero's journey? It's bound to be all of you in this group. And how many, excellent Patrick, how many of you think that the hero's journey or the hero's two journeys or the Epiphany Bridge or the Hollywood screenwriter's method for writing your story is the best way to go? You're wrong. Don't say that to be a jerk. Let me explain. Hey, Tamara. God, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Isn't that weird? We've been working together, and I keep wanting to call you Tamara. Anyway, hey, how's it going? So here's the problem with all of those storytelling methodologies, right? They are the storytelling methodologies that are used by people who shill from the stage, that people who have no problem just like cornering you in the audience and grinding you to an attempted sale. They are the same people who hire people in the audience to start rushing to the back of the room, right? That's not my jam. That's not what I'm comfortable with. Everyone I speak to in this group, I have not spoken to all of you, but everyone I speak to in this group says the same thing. They don't like that kind of feeling. So I want to tell you why just launching into some misunderstood version of a hero's journey is not the most powerful thing you can do. Because the hero's journey automatically creates, follow me closely here, a suspension of disbelief. You know that you're being taken on a journey. You know, so in other words, there's a part of you that's willing to connect, and there's a part of you know that stays distant because you know that it is a manipulation, right? This is why we can watch movies and we can root for the good guy, but we never feel that person's pain. This is why we read books and the same thing happens. There's a suspension of disbelief that keeps a distance between us and the person, as Russell Brunson likes to call it, the attractive character. As screenwriting likes to call it, the sympathetic character, the protagonist. How's this doing? Is this making sense? Do you understand the difference between really hearing a person tell you their story and a hero's journey? And do you understand that that suspension of disbelief creates a gap? It creates a distance, and that distance is going to make everything that you're trying to do by sharing your story more challenging for you to do. How are we doing with that? It's funny that live streaming has that little time gap. So I ask the question, then I have to pause. Well, anyway, moving forward, there is a better way. There is a way that allows you to simply tell your story. Tell the truth of what happened to you, what you've experienced, what it taught you, how that led you to do what you now do. Because here's another spoiler. If you are a coach, you don't do your work without some sort of a personal motivation to do it. I've never seen a coach that was the exception to this rule. So if you are passionate about speaking on one topic, there's a personal connection there to you. There's something underneath that drives you. Even my dear, dear friend Patrick Kirby, who is in the nonprofit fundraising space. Now it seems like, oh, okay, yeah, he just maybe went to school and then went into that after school. But when you talk to Patrick, you find out that there's a deep passion underneath this thing that seems like a very sort of businessy kind of a topic to be focused on. So you have something that drives you to do what you do, especially if you're in this group, especially if you're a coach. And you want to speak to people with the purpose of showing them that you're more of a guide and less like some sort of untouchable hero, right? If you've ever had a conversation with a coach who positions themselves purposely or accidentally as an untouchable hero, then you know it's very off-putting. And if you've ever had a coach who just seems to want to hold your hand and cheer you on, that's very off-putting too. I mean, there's nothing to my mind more awkward than realizing your coach is just patting you on the back all the time. I mean, it's ew, right? And so you want to tell your story in such a way that it threads. Permit me stretching the boundaries of this metaphor, but it threads several needles. And one of the needles it threads is you don't want to represent yourself as this untouchable hero, but you also don't want to come across as a sympathetic character. You don't want to be sympathetic ever, by the way. Sympathy is disempowering. What you want to do is right down the middle. Let's make it more like a needle hole. Whatever. You get the point. You want to be right in between. I'm asking for your sympathy, and I'm showing you that I'm untouchable. You want to be right in the middle. Okay, good. The next thing you want to do, the next needle you want to thread with your story, your signature story, is thread the needle of showing without having to get heavy-handed that you've been where your perfect person is. And I say perfect person, most people say target audience. I don't care for the term target audience, and I'm on a one-man crusade to change it. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Your perfect person, your perfect audience will have things in common with each other and with you. So what you do is you extract the stories from your life, from your experience, that speak directly to that person's journey, struggle, process. Journey, struggle, and process. This is called positioning, but you're not positioning yourself in some weird, superficial, fake, kind of douchey way. You're positioning yourself by telling the truth. So remember, we're talking about what is the best way to structure your signature talk. Okay, that's the topic here. And so there are a couple of things, right? We're threading several needles with our strategy here. And why is the hero's journey not okay by itself? For those of you that join in later, because it automatically creates a suspension of disbelief in the mind, and more importantly, in the emotions of people listening. And if you don't get emotional buy-in, none of your fancy storytelling skills are going to matter worth a damn. So you've got to thread the needle of choosing the right stories that speak to the heart of your perfect people. I have many stories from my life, but I am a coach who teaches storytelling and public speaking. More specifically, I teach coaches. So I have stories that will really tell you why I feel I'm good at this. And then I have stories about my life that won't tell you why I'm good at this. They're just stories. I may love them, right? So you've got to be selective. You've got to exercise judiciousness, selectivity. And in so doing, what happens is you automatically start to position yourself. People start to understand, wow, you've really been there, you know. And the level of clarity with which you can talk about these moments is the impact that you have on the soul, the heart and the soul of the people listening to you. So now we've got don't be a victim, don't be a hero. We've got select the stories from your life that best position you. Now you need to know how to organize it all. What does everyone do? They start from the beginning. Why is that bad? Because I'm already sleepy. Soon as you start from the beginning, I'm like, okay, I could take a nap. The pitch should start in about 12 minutes. I'll take a nap. This is not what you want. In fact, I would argue that for most of you, you don't want to pitch at all. Am I right about that? You don't want to have to pitch people. And so there's a phrase that I like to use called the better that you open, the less you have to close. And I mean this in terms of attracting and talking to and having people sign up with you that are your perfect people. The better that you open, the less you have to close, and your story functions as a tool to create the opening. By opening, I mean creating awareness about you, showing that you are who you say you are, showing why you can do what you say you can do, showing proof of it. Now, when you do this and you really nail it, because you're choosing the right stories and you know the person you're speaking to and you organize it in the way I'm about to share with you so that they don't fall asleep, what happens is through telling your story, you effortlessly and naturally and without any manipulation overcome their objections. You align yourself with them. Does that sound better to you than having to shift at the end of a talk into a pitch or an offer? If it does, keep listening. So, when you start from the starting of your story and move linear, it puts me to sleep. I don't want you to do that ever. Not ever, not ever, not ever. Instead, start from a grabber moment. And this is where hero's journeys usually start, right? And so we're about to get into the difference between the hero's journey model and my model. You want to start with the grabber. The moment where things changed, the moment where you knew you could no longer do what you had been doing. It could be in your corporate job where you were asked to do something unconscionable, or you missed the final last straw recital from one of your kids or your wife. You see what I'm saying? And you said to yourself, that's it, I can't anymore. I've got to change. It can be the moment where you were hitting rock bottom personally. It can be whatever. But it's got to be a grabbing moment. Then most people launch into the hero's journey from there. But I say, I need to know why that moment was so important to you. So take me back into your past, your back history. Take me back and create context and contrast for me that shows me why that moment was so uniquely powerful to you. So that grabber pinnacle story, take me backwards. Right? Not forwards. If I'm doing this right for you guys, I don't know. But take me backwards, back history. Tell me about your childhood. Give me context and contrast. And then weave it round back to that grabbing pinnacle story again. This is really, really heavy-handed hand gesturing. So pinnacle story, back history, pinnacle story again. Now you can take me on the hero's journey. Now and only now have you managed to get past that suspension of disbelief. I'm in there with you. I understand now. You're a human. You're not just telling a story for the sake of telling a story. Then you take me down that hero's journey path, right? When you get this right, people will line up to speak with you after you're done speaking. People will line up to ask you how they can work with you, how they can know more. You will not have to sell anything pretty much ever again, as long as you can reliably get yourself on stages and in front of groups of the right people. So that is, in a very, very nutshell kind of a way, that's the essence of my question mark story model. Now, if you would like to know more, maybe see a little training on the question mark story model, all you need to do is put "tell me more" in the chat. Just put "tell me more" in the chat below, and I will send you right over something yummy, tasty, and delicious for you that'll warm the cockles of your soul and your heart. "Tell me more" in the chat gets you information and a training on the question mark story model, which I promise you will revolutionize the way you interact with your clients, the way you attract your clients, the way you yourself think about your story and how you understand it. So "tell me more" below gets you the information, gets you the goodies. Now then, guys and girls, if you would like to learn this with me, live and in person, I want to tell you about the workshop that I'm hosting at the end of January in San Diego. If you would like to know how to scale your coaching programs, how to fill, grow, and scale naturally and organically your coaching programs so that you could reliably start to make 6 figures and more, then I want you to put "workshop" in the comments below. Normally, I don't like two things to offer you, red pill, blue pill in one live stream. But if you'd like to know about the live workshop, just put "workshop" in the comments below and we'll talk about it. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be killer. It's going to be so good. And we can just talk about it, right? There's no pressure, no nothing. I don't like pressure. I don't like selling people stuff. So if it's a good fit and we both know it, it'll be obvious. But you want to know about the story, the question mark story model, just put "tell me more." You want to know about the workshop, put "workshop." I thank you. Remember, watch the starting of this so that you will not get kicked out of the group for dropping links without asking. Okay, we did a little house cleaning at the beginning, and I will throw your ass out like a bouncer. I will 86 you if you're dropping links in the group without my express permission first. Most of you guys aren't going to do that, though. Most of you guys are damn good sorts. So you want to know about the story model, the question mark story model, put "tell me more." Want to know about the workshop, put "workshop." And I will see you in the next live stream, guys. Thank you so much.